I'll give you a famous one that, was famous at the time and I think has been forgotten by
Mm.
history. It's the first video phone. Funnily enough, this was made by AT&T, and funnily enough, my first real job was at AT&T,
Okay.
and I was doing voice over IP stuff back then, like a little before Skype came around, and I had never heard of this video phone that AT&T had made in the 1960s. Right? You think like I had no idea this was
Wow.
even possible, and they were doing it over the old, like the legacy copper,
POTS,
wire into
maybe
the phone.
plain old
Yeah,
telephone
plain old
system.
telephone service. Yeah, and
It had to be terrible.
I've seen videos of people using the devices, and it's definitely, it's got that, kind of, mid 1900s TV kind of feel to
Sure.
it. It's black and white, but you could talk real time to another person. You could share a document with them by moving the camera to your piece of paper.
Wow.
But yeah, so they had this, what they call the picture phone. They spent $4 billion in today's dollars
Mm.
developing it.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. And I mean, AT&T back then, or the Bell Labs, back then, that was like the gold standard for corporate labs, which we don't really have, to the degree that we had, say, in the 1900s. They pushed out this product first at the 1964 World's Fair, and then with a commercial launch in 1970, and it was just crickets.
Mm-hmm.
They had like they sold, I want to say, tens of units. Yeah.
Maybe even dozens. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe dozens. Yes. And so they pretty quickly realized, okay, yeah, that was a $4 billion waste. We're going to shut it down. But they tried that, that basically variations of that, product
Mhm.
again in the 1980s, in the 1990s, and it wasn't until we had solved the installed base problem. So I don't need like, oh, I want to call you by video, and you want to talk to me. Like we both need the same make of video phone. Like once we had solved that, either through like laptops with a camera, installed, or or a webcam that would like sit on top of your monitor.
Mhm.
It wasn't until we had solved that people really had commercial, video phone or picture phone type service.
Right. My dad had a car phone back in the early 90s, so his
Very
business
popular.
was
Yeah.
same day small package delivery, so he had to be on the phone all the time. And I felt like
Yep.
even as a young kid riding with a dad who had a car phone, I felt like the car phone was too early. Like it did not have product market fit. It was way too big. You couldn't unplug it because it would just turn off. It barely ever had a
Mm-hmm.
reception wherever he was. It was like the only reason he had it was because his business needed him to have it. But even that, which I think eventually obviously got gobbled up by mobile phones, which got gobbled up by smartphones, is like the car phone was not cool. I doubt it had, I mean, it never had mass adoption for sure.
Right.
Because even then, like putting a phone in your car was just too early. I think probably because the mobile networks were just bad.
Yeah. Lot of
Looked cool though.
dead
They looked
zones.
cool. I mean, my friends were all like, "Your dad has a car phone." I'm like, "Yeah, he does," but it was lame.